Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I am doing a manga haul. This is part one of my September manga haul, so these are manga that I bought in September. There was a local sale that was happening. It happens about twice a year, and a local seller just rents out a haul and sells all of their secondhand manga that they've been collecting from a bunch of different vendors. So anyway, this particular haul was really great. There's some titles in it that I'm super excited to have, titles I didn't expect to find, and I'm really happy about it. But there are quite a few titles to get through. I do have a pretty big stack here, and almost entirely out of print titles. So let's get into this. So the first thing that I ended up picking up is this volume, volume 2 of The Legend of Kamui Perfect Collection. This is story and art by Sanpei Shirato and Akami Productions. I already have single issues of Legend of Kamui, and I just thought that it was about time that I start actually collecting the tankobon. This is the first volume that I own, so I do have a bit of a gap to fill, but I do see these occasionally at sales, and so I thought it was about time to just start collecting them. The next title I picked up is, I believe, an OEL. This is Jason DeAngelis's Blade for Barter, and I ended up picking this up because when I was there I was flipping through it because I hadn't recognized it from before, and it looks like a complete rip-off of One Piece, like down to character design, down to panel layout, down to, I don't know, just everything about it felt like One Piece to me, and so I just thought it was very strange to see something like that, and it really does give off a feeling of One Piece, like this person just like studied One Piece really closely. Like there's even some like battleships and stuff in this that I was like, oh, that's their boat. There's some characters in here that just look like it. The way that he stuffs his panels full of characters looks like it. Even the fact that the character is wearing a hat just like in One Piece. Like it just, the whole thing feels like One Piece to me. They're like this fish market, like I can't tell you how much that looks like One Piece. So anyway, this feels like One Piece, so I picked it up. I'm not entirely sure. If anyone's read this, let me know what you think of it. But I just thought it was kind of funny, and I wanted to look at it closer. The next title that I picked up was volume 3 of The Shadow Lady, The Sudden Death by Masakazu Katsura. This is the same author as Eyes and Video Girl AI. And I'm a kind of medium fan of this author. I like his humor, and I think he's a beautiful illustrator of the human form. Sometimes it's a little too sexual for me, but I'm also not his target audience. But I do have single issues of this, and I thought that it would be nice to start collecting, and since it's cheap I thought I might as well buy it now. So this is, again, another new start to a series, and I will have to fill in the collection. So this is a volume 3. I ended up picking up some more MPD Psycho by Sho Tajima and Eiji Otsuka. This is volume 8. I have 1, 8, 9, 10 now. I am slowly picking away at this. It is a little bit harder to find, but I am finding random volumes at these sales, and so I'm just going to slowly pick at it, and eventually we'll have more of this to read, I hope. Oh, this one is a fun one. This is a Japanese volume of 3x3 Eyes by Yuzo Takada, volume 1, and I'm really happy to have this because I do have 3x3 Eyes in English from Dark Horse, but I believe that edition, or that series, was really changed. I'm not entirely sure how it was changed, but it was also very incomplete, so I'm really happy to have this, really want to check it out, and if it's something that I can read to any semblance, ooh, I'm not sure. The girl Pi has a very strange font when she's speaking. But if it's something that I'm able to read, then I definitely want to pick up more in Japanese, because this is an author that I really like, and it's a story that I really like, and I definitely like the anime, so I was really happy to find this because I'm kind of a big fan of 3x3 Eyes. The next title I ended up picking up is actually just filling in a hole, so I already have some of the series. I don't have very much of it. I have volumes 2, 4, and 5 already, and then I ended up getting volume 3, volume 7, volume 9, and volume 10 of Dark Edge by Yu Aikawa. I haven't read this title. I don't know too much about it. I just read the synopsis online. Essentially, I think it's one of those stories where kids go to school in the day, but they can't be on campus after night because there is something going on at night. And this school in particular, I think it's zombies. So, you know, there's different stories with different things. So I think this actually might be a horror or suspense thriller type story. I haven't looked at it too closely. I've just been slowly picking up the volumes as I see them randomly here and there. When I get enough that I can read in order, then I definitely will start reading this, but I am missing a volume 1, so I'm just gonna pick away at it like I do with most of these series. The next title that I picked up is actually another kind of beginning of a series, or start of collecting a series. That is volume 2 of Dance Till Tomorrow by Naoki Yamamoto. This is a pulp graphic novel, and Pulp was an imprint of Viz, like really early on, and it's comics for grown-ups. So I'm not sure if this is josei or seinen, but probably seinen title, but it's about a boy who will inherit several $1,000,000 if he graduates from college, but he is being kind of seduced by another student. So he's being distracted, I guess. So that's essentially what it looks like from the back cover. All I have heard is that it's pretty intense, and that it's a worthwhile read, and so I'm looking forward to pick this one up slowly like I do with everything else. This is one I have been looking for online, but I'm just not liking the prices that I see, so I might as well start collecting it this way. And maybe one day I will have it complete. The next title that I picked up is another volume of What's Michael by Makoto Kobayashi. This is A Hard Day's Life. I really love Makoto Kobayashi. I think he is so funny. This is such a funny, silly comic. And yeah, I read it to my sister. We were both laughing the entire time, and it's just it's so great. It's just these little short comics. It does say on the back that it was a Parents' Choice Award, and I'm assuming that people were thinking these are kids comics. They're not really kids comics. They're definitely adults comics. There is some adult humor in this that I don't think is really appropriate for kids, but there's some really funny things in here, and I definitely think they're worth picking up, especially if you see them for cheap somewhere. They're just a good laugh. They're really funny, and if you're an animal person at all, I think you'll really appreciate these titles. I ended up picking up the second volume of Cells at Work by Akane Shimizu. Not out of print, this is still serializing. I have the first volume. I was planning on picking up more of the series, but it's just not as high priority as some other titles, and so I haven't done it yet. So yeah, I was glad to find this for more than half the cost of what I would pay for it new. So that was really great, and it's in looks like it's been read once condition, so that's awesome. The next title again is a beginning of a collection, but I'm really happy to have it. That is Guardian Angel Get 10 Volume 3 by Sakurano Minene. This is published by Raijin Graphic Novels. Anytime I see the word Raijin Graphic Novel, I will buy it. It is just the thing. I have to have all the Raijin comics. I love their comics. I love their publishing. And I don't necessarily need to know what this is about. But I have read the back. It kind of looks like it's a Oh My Goddess type story where there's, some angels who have come to Earth, or some aliens of some sort, and they've come to Earth and they're now living with a single boy. Kind of a harem-esque type story, but it's cute, but what I really care about is that it's published by Raijin, and so I'm collecting their work, and this is just another one of them. Another title that is brand new to my collection, but this one is still serializing, I think. This is Fuku Fuku Kitten Tales by Konami Kanata. I think, is this the same author as Chi's Sweet Home? I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's just kitty stories. It looks like Chi. It's just cute kitty stories, and it's a volume 1. I was kind of interested in picking it up, but I didn't really know if I should bother because I already have Chi's Sweet Home in the collection, so this was way cheaper than I would have bought it online or bought it new, and so yeah, I was just happy to add it to the collection. Some more filling in holes. This is Marchin Awakens Romance, or Mar. So I bought volume 6 and volume 7. I only have volume 1, but this isn't a particularly long series if I recall. I have read the entire thing. I had borrowed it from the library. I enjoyed reading it. I'd like to read it again, and I'll take the opportunity to collect it when I can see it for super cheap. definitely am not going to go overboard trying to find these volumes, but I suspect that I'll be able to find them sort of slowly around. So yeah, so now I have 167. Again, another new series for my collection, but this one is part of a franchise that I seem to be collecting lately. Was sort of unintentional, but it's happening, and so I might as well just keep going with it. This is Record of Lotus War, Chronicles of the Heroic Knight. This is book 6 by Ryo Mizuni and Masato Natsumoto. I don't have any in this particular edition, or in this particular story arc, but I probably have 6 or 7 different Record of Lotus War volumes from different series, so just keep throwing them in my collection. This one was published by CPM. I was really happy with this one, again just filling in some holes, but really happy to find this. This is volume 2 of Moonchild. I only have volume 3, but last time I was at one of these sales I found volume 3, and I did say that this is a title I really want to read. I don't know too much about it, but it's just been something that it's been on my mind, and I didn't pick it up when it was releasing, and I really regret that because I was collecting manga at that time, so that's really annoying. This is by Reiko Shimizu, and now I have volume 2-3. I'm going to slowly collect this, I'm going to find it, and I really hope that it's not going to take years. This was an amazing find, super happy about this one. This is The Red Snake, volume 1 of Hino Horror. So there's a series of Hideshi Hino horror manga that were published, and this is volume 1 of that. I don't have any others from this particular series, but I was just really happy to find some more Hideshi Hino. I am a fan of his work. I think he's a bit of a gross out horror author, but I'm just happy to be able to collect something, especially for so cheap, and something that I didn't think that I was going to find. This was really kind of an unexpected find. I bought this title in order to replace a copy that I already have, so I actually have this already. This is Heartbroken Angels by Masuhiko Kikuni. This is actually a Yonkoma that was published by Pulp, but they did this strange thing and they reformatted it, so some of the panels, like they cross over to different pages. Some of the panels are like blown up. I'll have to find one. Some of the Yonkoma panels are blown up so big so that they fit 2 pages. So it's just like a really oddly formatted 4-panel comedy manga. But I do have this volume already. It's just that the one that I ended up picking up was incredibly sunburned, and so this one actually still is yellow, which is kind of amazing. So I just thought that I would buy it and replace the one I have already. I still don't have volume 1, but I might as well replace it when I can find it for a couple of dollars. I found another title by Shiro Masamune. This is Black Magic. It is a single volume title. It sounds like his typical science fiction cyberpunk type story. I will get into it at some point, but I am happy to add these to my collection. It's in pretty decent shape. It's not torn or anything, and it is a single volume, so at least easy to kind of pick up and read at any time. The next title is, again, just sort of filling in some of the gaps. I got volume 6 of Wandering Sun by Shimura Takako. Cost me $5. Really happy to find it. It's not in like perfect edition. There is a little bit of damage here on the corner, but that's fine. I wasn't originally going to be collecting this title anyway because it's so large, but I do have volume 1 now, so I might as well pick away at it when I could find volumes for cheap. $5 is super cheap for me, especially for a nice hardcover like this and a little bit hard to find title. So yeah, there's a big gap between 1 and 6, but I will continue to work on it. The next title that I picked up, again, is new to my collection, but I ended up finding a couple volumes, and there's only 6 to collect, so I thought that that was okay. That is The Portrait of M and N by Tachibana Higuchi. This is the same author as Gaku and Alice. I do have a couple of volumes of Gaku and Alice, I think. I've definitely read a couple of volumes of it. This is basically the story of some students who have a secret, M and N, and M is a masochist, N is a narcissist, and they discover their personalities with each other in school, and I think things progress from there. I suspect that it's going to be some sort of a dark, either a fantasy or drama, because Gaku and Alice sort of tends to be kind of on the dark scale of fantasy. They look really cute, but they end up being kind of more on the evil side, I guess. So I'm not entirely sure how this will go, but it looks relatively interesting. It's pretty short, and I did find 3 volumes of it. So I bought Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 4, and this was published by Tokyopop. Another series is brand new to my collection. I'm going to start collecting it, but it's something that I've been seeing at these sales, and I'm always intrigued by it, so this is the time that I finally started picking it up. This one is Volume 2 of the Guin Saga, and it is illustrated by Kazuaki Yanagisawa, story by Karu Kurimoto. Don't know anything about it. The characters appear to be in some sort of a high fantasy type setting, lots of demons and brutal killings. That's pretty much what I see. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. I think there's only a couple of volumes. It was published by Vertical, so it's not going to be terribly easy to find, but I do see these occasionally at these sales, and I just thought, you know, now's the time to start picking this one up. I ended up picking up some more volumes of Peachy Peachy Pitch, Mermaid Melody by Pink Hanamori. This is Volume 2, then I have Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. I think there are 2 more volumes of this for me to collect, but I'm pretty happy about it. I did read the first volume for a readathon, possibly the manga readathon that I hosted, so it was fairly recently. I enjoyed it. It is a fantasy magical girl series, and yeah, it's got some different scenarios in it than other fantasy magical girl series. So I was really interested in it, and I'm really happy that I was able to find a few more volumes for really cheap, so that was really great. Just a couple more volumes left. I found Volume 4 of The Drop of the Gods by Tadashi Agi and Shu Okimoto. This completes my series of The Drop of the Gods. I actually did buy the rest of the series at the comic book store, I think even in the summer, like it was really recently, and they just didn't have Volume 4. This is an out-of-print title that's published by Vertical, but I was able to find it. Doesn't look like it's been read, like it's in perfect condition, so really happy to complete this series. I think it was dropped publishing, so it is an incomplete title, but I'm happy to have what we have. I ended up completing the You're Under Arrest, Lights and Siren by Kosuke Fujishima. I think this is only 2 volumes long, but I do have the first volume, and it's just a fun police comedy with some girls who are mechanics crazy, and yeah, I like Kosuke Fujishima, so really happy to find the second volume of this. And I was able to complete Lady Snowblood, which is really amazing, by Kazuo Koike and Kazuo Kamimura. This is Volume 1, Part 1. I do have the rest of this title. It is a pretty short title, but I have been really wanting to collect this. I've been buying like 1 volume here and there. It pays to wait, because I was able to collect this entire series for less than $20, which is amazing. So I'm really excited about this. I may start reading this one fairly soon. I've been really craving this style of manga, and this one just really intrigues me. And it has intrigued me since it started releasing, but I wasn't really buying manga when this was releasing, and I regretted not buying it at that time so much, but now I don't because I got it for way cheaper. And then I also completed Najika Blitz Tactics by Takia Tashiro. I ended up reading the first volume of this earlier in the year. I really enjoyed it actually, and I never expected that I was going to find this. It wasn't something that was high priority for me to find, and yeah, now I have it complete. I'm really happy about that, so I probably will pick up the first volume and reread it with the second volume at some point, so really happy to have this complete as well. And the last title, which I am the most happy about, I'm so excited about this, and it is Bride of Deimos, Volume 7 by Yuho Ashibe and Etsuko Ikeda. I have read Volumes 1 through 5, and I absolutely loved it. It is a horror shoujo manga from the late 70s, early 80s, and it's so great. Like, I just can't tell you how much I love it. I love the art style. I love like how dramatic it is. I love that the main character is so evil, and he constantly is evil, and he's never portrayed really as a good character, even though maybe the main character who's being kind of tortured by him is starting to like turn her heart towards him. But you know, when the devil is the love interest. He almost always is portrayed as the good guy, and this one he really isn't, and I love that so much. I'm so appreciative of that. So I have volume 7. I'm still looking for volume 6. This was published by Comics 1, and they weren't able to publish past volume 7, so this is pretty much everything that we have in English. There is more in Japanese. I may go out and look for the Japanese volumes and finish the series that way. But I'm going to look for volume 6, and this is something I'm super excited about because I wasn't even finding this one online anywhere. Like, I couldn't find it to see who was selling it for, you know, several $100s. It just wasn't out there. Just no one seemed to have it. So yeah, I found it and I'm super happy about it, and I can't wait to find volume 6. So that's everything that I got from this secondhand sale. I do have another haul coming out that will be all of the new manga that I got this month, but that will come out later. And it probably has just as many titles in it as this one did, so yeah, it's been a really big month for me, and I definitely will have some small months coming up. I think I'm going to have to keep it relatively lean for the short term. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if there are any titles that you found interesting or that you've read. I'd love to hear if you have any experience with some of these titles. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.